What is up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we got another episode of Megaman X. It's gonna be very fun. I played through it already, and I'm just playing back the recording, and I'm gonna be talking through it. But I hope you guys enjoy it, and it's going to you guys are gonna be seeing my struggles. So here it is. Here the first the actually level 2, technically level 3. We're gonna be playing Launch Octopus. It's an underwater level. Um, but yeah, here we go. Let's get started. For those of you asking, where am I playing these from? I'm playing them from my PC. So, um, I have a program that's called Super Nintendo Entertainment System 9X emulator. So it's just an emulator that you install on your computer. It has to be Windows though, not Mac. Um, and it's super lightweight. So if you have like an old computer, it'll run it. But but yeah, it's super fun. You can put literally any game you want on there, and you can basically just play whatever game you wanted from your childhood. So I have Mega Man X, I have Mega Man 9, I have like Superman and Batman and the old Mortal Kombat games. Might cover those soon. I don't know yet. But as a kid, I would play those for hours, and I don't know why it occurred for me to want to play these games. But man, I had so much fun playing these games. Like I had to be careful because I couldn't get off of it, but it was really fun to do so. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions for any games from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, let me know. I'll try to get the file somehow. And all these files are literally just like a few megabytes. Or like this whole Mega Man X game is only 1.5 megabytes, which I find crazy. Um, and I kind of see how, because it doesn't have that many. Uh, it's not intense graphics. Basically, it's just pictures that are moving. It's basically just pictures interacting with other pictures. Um, but I guess I'm just used to like when you take a picture on your phone, it's like 5 megabytes now, and it just maintains a lot of information. So, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And if you guys are asking, no, this is not my actual studio. This is a picture that I created on AI, because my actual office is a mess, and I should probably clean it up soon. Um, but yeah, I've just been getting some intense now nostalgia from just like looking back at these games, because this is where I came from. A lot of my problem solving abilities came from here, and I'm just very happy to be able to play these games again because they did have a big part of my childhood. Um, I also played the original. I mean, the original Mario. Like everyone plays the original Mario, but I think Mega Man has been my favorite. I've also been playing Spider-Man 2000. The one where symbiotes take over um, New York City. That one was pretty fun. And I'll also play Sonic, the original Sonic too. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, I'd be more than happy to, whenever I have time. I do have something I want to share. I have a piece of advice for basically everyone, and I think it's very important because, like, in my work, we have like talks about politics, and basically you can't avoid politics now. Politics is everywhere. But I have a piece of advice because me and my wife are youth leaders at our church, and we've seen people like get so anxious because of the state of the world right now. But it says in the Bible that there's going to be like troubling times ahead. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens, that's going to cause chaos and division between each person. And it's not even because we don't agree in politics. It's because like we don't lend a hand to a neighbor. Um, so yeah, I mean, all of these problems in politics, seem very overwhelming, and they are overwhelming. It's like a huge problem to solve. Like, how do we solve like world hunger? How do we solve this and that? Um, how do we solve like child trafficking, stuff like that? But the important part is honestly like we have to take it a step at a time. We can't try and tackle a huge problem. In computer science, we're taught to break a problem down into multiple parts and then work our way up, to solve problems. So when it comes to these type of issues, I always advise people like, yeah, everything seems so overwhelming, but first focus on your family. You know, focus on your friends, because you never know if someone is going through depression. You never know when someone is going through something like that you'll never be able to understand or know because you were too focused on politics. You know, so take your time. The state of the world sucks right now, and it really does. Like gas prices, everything increasing in price, and morality has also gone down. But take care of your household first before anything else. And I think it's very important that we continue to uphold good moral values. Because now, I mean, in every workplace, but in every area that there's going to always be people that, don't uphold the good moral or good, work ethic. That's why I said in my last video, like, continue to do good even though it gets tiring. Um, if it's something that's really bugging you, just focus on yourself. My motto, and my coworkers can attest to this whenever they vent, is that you can only control yourself. You can only control what you do. So why stress about what you can't control? And at that point, it's like you already have peace with knowing that you can only do what you can do, not what you can't do. So I don't know. That's just my advice. Continue moving forward. Continue to do what's right, even though everyone around you is doing wrong. Because at the end, you have to be the change that you want to see. You know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. As a matter of fact, there's a video on my YouTube channel saying how imperfect I am and that I need a savior. Which the Lord has graciously saved me from the ruckus that I was in. But what I'm saying is that each person should just strive to do their best. Each person should hold their own morale, no matter how hard it gets. Um, because this is the thing too, is that you're not really battling against people, you're battling against behaviors. And all those behaviors always come from a root. I'm looking at the video game and I flash and then it just disappears because the frame rate is kind of weird. Um, but yeah, I mean, just continue to focus on you. Continue to do good, and just know that you're not fighting against people. You're fighting against certain behaviors. Um, and just pray for them. Continue to pray, just because that's our greatest weapon. I just gotta click on something real quick on my other computer here. Just this took me like 10 tries. I was way out of practice when I first started this game, and I just cut it out for you guys so you guys don't get bored. But there we go. I want to share the game files with you guys for this video game, but I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for that. I should probably look that up. Can you share? That's just me saving my progress. Can you share legally? Hey, what gives? Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, never mind. It says I can't share .smc files. And if they contain copyrighted video games. There we go. I was saying my progress, my bad. But yeah, sharing SMC files is generally illegal if they contain copyrighted video games. And since Mega Man is, a copyrighted video game, I'm not gonna do it. But I'm gonna see if I can find a website that allows you to, buy the SMC files. Here we go, that eagle. This level is about the eagle. Como las águilas. Every time that I sing that song, it just reminds me of like a meme, and it's about it's a, it's just someone like whenever the creative team gets creative and they just put someone on the top of an eagle. Oh my gosh. I have a very simple sense of humor. Okay, guys, I can explain. The reason that I have the flamethrower is because I accidentally clicked on the flamethrower first, the flamethrower level. I wasn't supposed to, because, well, yeah, I mean, you can do whatever level you want. It's just that there's a certain power up in the flamethrower level that I wanted, but I couldn't get it without going through this level first. So they're a little bit out of order, but this is the order that you should complete them in. And I don't know if you guys noticed, there's like an increase in quality, in the pixel quality. And that's because I made a few changes to the configuration of the emulator. So it looks way better pixely than like blurry. I don't know what the heck they were trying to do with that, but I think it looks way better compared to my last video. Oh man, good times, good times. But anyways, I have something else to share with you guys. If you guys haven't seen, I'm very patriotic. Oh, look, I got cut off. I'm very patriotic, and it's not because I idolize America or anything. It's just because like I see what America is capable of, and a lot of people say like, who do you vote for, or who do you like choose? And I'm like, honestly, I just choose the candidate who has more common sense. But what I really want is the best for America, and for me, and I believe this is a universal thing, is that if we hold closer to biblical values, that country is going to prosper. And that means giving to our neighbors. Doesn't mean like giving freely, but helping those in need. And it also means like being generous in terms of, forgiving. There's crimes that happen, and there's people that are going to want to not get consequences to that, but there are consequences to your crimes, and it's pretty cool, because there's a lot of applications for pardons. There's a mercy in court, plead your case. And if it was just cut and dry, it would just be like, hey, you're gonna get arrested, you're not gonna be able to plead for, you're not gonna be able to make your case, basically. And the way I see it in other countries is that there's basically no mercy. Like if you go to Cuba, and I don't know, if you go to China where certain things are outlawed, they just put you in jail forever, or they put you to death. But in America, you can plead your case. You can also like hire a lawyer. You can do this and that. So I think it's pretty awesome that we have that kind of those opportunities. Yeah, my roots are from Mexico, and don't get me wrong, Mexico is great, but Mexico has a lot of stuff to work on. And it's not that they're like way down. I think they're almost there, honestly, but they need to focus on consequences, on accountability, because there's like way too many people that get away with too much stuff, and those values start with the homes. I think whoever is of Latino descent, actually I'm gonna say it in Spanish. Yo creo que cualquier persona que es de México debería de enseñar a sus hijos cómo tener esos morales, no robar, how do you say scam? I forgot. I have broken Spanish. Yeah, nomás no hacer scam a cada uno. Empieza mejorando la comunidad empieza contigo, empieza a que tú enseñes a otros. So man, I just Mexico's there. I'm rooting for you guys, you know. And I know people like I go to Mexico often, and I just think if there was that one thing, more accountability, then it would be such a better place. Um, because there's like police officers that accept bribes happily, and it's like a common thing. It's like if you don't give a bribe, then you're basically gonna go the long way. But here in the United States, it's like if you try and give a bribe, you're already gonna be sent to jail because of how illegal it is. But over there, it's like common practice, which is crazy, and obviously that shouldn't be happening. Everyone should, continue on with their lives with integrity. And like I always said, even if everyone else is doing wrong around you, you have to do what's right. I don't know if you guys remember, but Megaman, um, he was designed to just be a robot, a cyborg that would just live life. It wouldn't be anything, crazy out of the ordinary. But because of the product of his environment, he had to become a war machine. So basically, he had to adapt. He had to adapt in order so that he can survive. You know, and I feel like that's the kind of mentality in Mexico. And it's unfortunate because like it's like 20 pesos el litro. Um, there's 4 liters, so it'd be like what, 80 pesos. 80 pesos. That's almost $5 of gas. $5 a gallon for gas. Like, just imagine how they're living over there, Um, so I get it also, but it also got that way because there's lack of integrity. People don't keep themselves accountable, because it's a lot of corruption. Like politicians love to be corrupt, because they have power. They get money, they basically have a say in everything. But it's just like biblical values, like maintain your integrity. And the Bible also says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I don't think that money in itself is bad. And I think that if a Christian person is rich, it's because God entrusts them with the amount of money that they have. Meaning that they're not going to change their character, they're not going to become prideful, they're not going to use money as a weapon, but rather they're going to use it to bless others, and it's going to be like a testimony. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's up to integrity. Get him. Como las águilas. That's just my message. That's my message to Mexico. And I really do hope for the best. My heart and soul, and I know a lot of people from Mexico, and my roots are from there. But there's right way to do things. Instead of focusing on how to make money, focus on your family. Focus on teaching them good morals. Because I say to my friends and family, it's better to be poor with integrity. It's better to be poor together. First of all, like you don't want to, like your kids are going to remember the memories. They're gonna remember who you are, how you were as an example. They're not gonna remember like how much money you made. They're just gonna remember your absence, really. So, continue to focus on your family. Your family is the most important thing out there. If you don't have them, who do you have? Alright guys, well, these are the 2 levels. We'll go ahead and pick it up next week as well. But, other than that, God bless you guys. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you again next week. Alright, bye.